We have a new goal.
No, we don't. Never again. I never want to go through that again. Anyway, hello everyone. We're here and we're live and we're talking about big shit tonight, like the Game Awards and what our predictions are. But first up, we've got Shelly and George here, like always, and we're going to talk about what games we're playing, what's going on in terms of our anime watching, and what we scored for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So let's go ahead and start with George.
Well, been broke as all get out this past couple weeks, so I've done more working for Black Friday than I actually have for shopping.
Well, do you
I didn't
have
buy
anything?
But I sold a hoodie from my Redbubble store.
There you go.
Good job.
Yeah.
Did you buy any gum?
You can totally plug that, and if anyone wants to support you, they will.
I meant to put a link in the description. I'll do a bunch of that in post.
Do you have anything you're looking forward to getting for Christmas?
Jesus, I don't remember because I can hear you starting to skip. What I'm looking forward to. Definitely picking up that copy of Azure Striker Gunvolt that I have sitting at work. As well as that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Pro controller, but just the controller.
When's that game come out?
I'm really not. Like December 1st or something.
I'm not gonna play it.
Is that game done?
Yeah, it's a bit done, I think.
Sure. Didn't the last one just come out not too long ago?
No. It's a long time
I remember.
ago.
No, that game came out like a year and a half ago.
Nah.
No, I didn't.
Xenoblade Chronicles?
They announced this new one a year and a half ago, practically.
Nah.
They re-released the first one on 3DS, but...
I'm talking about the one on Wii U.
No.
That came out in like...
fucking 16 or 15.
It definitely wasn't 15.
Yeah. Well, see, that's crazy because I feel like it was 15. Last year. It certainly wasn't last year.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't like Xenoblade, like Chronicles 2 and how it looks and how it sounds. Like, the dub specifically in that trailer sounds atrocious.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was April 29th, 2015.
All right, I wasn't crazy. But yeah,
that was like April 2015 in Japan. It was like December 2015 here. So almost 2 years. What the? Never mind. Go ahead.
Well, you're thinking about getting it though.
Who, me?
Yes.
No, I'm getting the controller, and that's it.
You just want the controller and fuck the game.
Yeah, and I'm still not even trying to pay for it because I still swear by what I said when we first saw the Pro controller, that I'm not spending that much money on a controller. So what's going to happen is this birthday/Christmas money is going to come through.
So you're not going to spend anything for it.
Money not from me. Exactly.
Okay. Well, what about you,
Gotta stand by my word, man.
I bought Overwatch. I don't know if I'll ever play it.
You will. It'll just take some time.
I bought WWE 2K18. Really enjoying the hell out of that. I bought Persona 5. And I somehow got the Uncharted collection that it said I bought, but I never bought.
But it's in your library.
But it's definitely on my system.
Well, maybe it was a gift. Like that, like fucking... that email that I got for participating in their power-up rewards card, or whatever the fuck it was. Not power-up rewards, but day one early access or whatever for Sony on the PSN. They said that I participated in it, so I get a 20% off like my next big purchase. So I'm like, I don't know what I want because I can't spend anything right now because it ends in like December 16th, I think, and I don't get like another me paycheck until like late in this month.
Yeah.
Because my paycheck this Thursday, or this Thursday is going to be towards rent mostly, but I don't know what I'm going to buy it with. All things depending, I probably won't use it, but what else have you guys been doing as far as gaming?
Nothing really.
Getting
you've
through
just been
Odyssey.
playing. But you guys still haven't beaten that?
Brian.
Huh?
He said work.
It's the holidays. I work retail.
I understand now. But I also was
Finals
like,
are coming up.
I knew that you had like a lot of free time, like in a short amount of time when you first got it, and I thought that it was that short of a game that you could just like kind of rush through it.
Oh, I beat
No.
Lost Legacy since the last time we broadcasted.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the thing.
You went straight from Lost Legacy to Uncharted. I mean, not Uncharted. Fucking the one that I don't play, Horizon.
Yeah. Went back into Horizon. Frozen Wilds DLC.
What is this, a plug?
Shameless.
Yeah, as far as games have been going, well, I guess I'll just announce like the big surprise that I plugged at the description of this video. I got a Switch. I got a Christmas bonus. So yeah, that was it. It wasn't anything.
Bruh, I put big announcement in the title. Like
exactly.
I was hoping for some life-changing.
Oh, I got all my stuff sent off for grad school. I guess that's life-changing. All my applications are finished.
Bruh, I just got cucked.
Well,
what is it?
I told you. I said that it was a shameless like baiting like fucking hook.
You know I didn't
description.
Well, baiting
you know I didn't read it. I just copy pasted it. That's my job. That's what I do.
I'm sorry, everyone. I needlessly baited and hooked everyone.
I run the boards.
I'm so glad that it worked out the way that it did because my joke has worked fantastically. But no, I guess if we're talking about life-changing events, good.
We had to. You dropped that. Now we're at 1.
But anyway, but yeah, I got a Switch. I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and I put about 9 hours or so into it. I really like the Switch as far as the first impressions. It's a small console, a lot smaller than I thought it would be, because I thought that the holder was a lot bigger than it actually is. I think my favorite part about it is pretty something stupid. It's how you like can lift up the back panel, and then it has like little slots where you can put the wires in so that they're all feeding out of the back and they're not everywhere.
Yeah.
That was a little bit of ingenuity
part of your video gaming console.
I mean, aesthetically, yes, because I was just like, oh, that's kind of neat. And why hasn't anyone else thought of this?
Because everything else
there it was.
Goes out the back, Brian.
But anyway, like, I really enjoy it handheld. I think that's the Switch's biggest strength is playing handheld. I didn't know how it would work until I actually did it because I didn't play with the handheld until I went out of town. And it surprisingly works really well. It feels good in your hands. It's just like a bigger Vita, honestly. And I adjust it pretty quickly to it. My biggest complaint as far as the button placement is that where the left joystick is, obviously there's like the minus sign on that Joy-Con. It's really hard to go from the joystick to like pressing that little minus sign because like it's a tiny button, obviously, and then you got the joystick in front of it. So I have to think about every time I have to like use my map in Breath of the Wild.
Hold on.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
I do know what you're talking about, but I'm like, how hard is that, dude? Like,
Because
you
my
can't.
thumb, half of my thumb is on the fucking joystick, and I'm like, oh, I gotta
How
fucking press this button, and then I have
how
to like move
small is
over.
your thumb?
Really tiny. I have tiny hands.
To have tiny hands, because I'm
I
like,
I have to press it with my fingernail for it to be effective.
George,
I'm
don't you know it's hard out here in these gaming streets?
apparently so. I,
But yeah,
I
like,
better I better check my big hand privilege.
but that's my fucking only gripe with the controller. It feels weird when you plug it into like the little mini thing that looks like a dog. I don't
The
know what you
dog.
call it. Yeah,
It's called the
the little.
Joy-Con grip, but everybody calls it the dog. Like, you're not wrong.
I just want to whim. Anyway, but yeah, like that feels weirder to me than actually playing with the Joy Cons like in each hand because it's like too tiny and I can't like comfortably sit my hands at all. So because I'm used to the PlayStation 4 controller. But I like the motion control in theory. In practice, it's extremely frustrating, especially when I'm trying to aim and do something. If I'm just like holding the Joy Cons like separately. Now, if I'm like holding the fucking handheld, obviously it's not a big deal, except for when you have to tilt the actual pad. That's stupid as shit, and I hate it. Like that, I think I went through a shrine, and this is tangenting, but like I went through a shrine in the game, and like the whole goal is to like basically pinball this thing from like end to end to like get over into like a little golf hole or whatever, and you have to move the gamepad like really precisely. And I don't even know how I did it. Like I think I got really frustrated and I just kind of like kicked up the whole thing trying to like readjust and get it recentered to where I was sitting, and then it ended up going into the hole anyway. Uh, but motion controls like that are really shitty. And they're still shitty even though like they shouldn't be at this point in time, and Nintendo should have fixed their problems like that. But everything else is fine, I guess. It's just that uh, sometimes the most controls can get in the way. But as a whole, the Switch is neat. That's the best word I could use to describe the console. It's neat. It's compact. It's actually more fun than you'd anticipate. Especially if you get like something like Breath of the Wild that you can kind of just get lost in. I'm looking forward to playing more titles. I've got Odyssey as my next mind for purchase. Maybe a Fire Emblem. What is it?
Warriors.
Yeah, I was thinking Heroes. I might get that just to have fun with a Warriors game because I know it's going to be mindless fun. I don't think I'll be getting Skyrim for the Switch because I just bought that for PS4.
Ooh, sneeze.
Yeah. And that brings me to like what I got for my Black Friday haul. So this is partly my Black Friday and my Christmas. On top of the Switch that I got with like the bonus that I got for my job, I went ahead and I got Breath of the Wild for Black Friday with a little bit of help from a family member. I ended up getting a new phone, so I'm getting a Galaxy S7.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Why?
No reason.
It definitely will be an improvement over what I have because my phone's
Hey,
got like
you can play Pokemon on your phone.
yeah, probably can. Because this one only has like 8 gigs of memory on it, the one that I have now, and it's agony. Like absolute agony. To have that little memory. But then I've got the phone, and then I've got oh god, thinking about it now. I got Skyrim for $20 on the PSN. I bought Danganronpa 1 and 2, the reloads. And I haven't started those yet, but I've got them sitting on my hard drive now.
I think I'm just gonna watch that.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I was like, well, I could have just watched Persona, but then I'm so glad that I didn't. Because I almost did.
I mean, I did both for Persona, and I'm fine with that. I think wanting to play Danganronpa is in the realm of giving myself something like long and arduous to play,
I wouldn't
which with
call
the
it long and
backlog, I already
arduous,
don't
though.
need to do that.
I don't know. I feel
Well,
like
I mean,
I could just like burn through it on like days that I don't really need to do anything else.
I mean,
Because
you have that luxury.
yeah, I do, and I don't at the same time. Like, because my backlog is disgusting too. Like, I don't know how many games I put on the back burner. Undertale's never getting finished. I've just resolved myself to that.
Like, I got Persona games I need to finish. I got Ace Attorney games I need to finish. I'm not gonna play Persona Cross Ace Attorney.
What?
Danganronpa.
Oh yeah. I I've got right now what I'm playing. I'm playing Ultra Moon. I'm playing Breath of the Wild. I'm replaying Fire Emblem Echoes, but I haven't touched that since I got Moon. So we'll see how long that lasts. I've still got Kingdom Hearts that I was working through, and I haven't touched that in like 2-3 months. I'm finishing up Shadow of War, and I'll talk about that in a little bit because that's like my review. Because I've basically beaten it now, basically. And then I've got Final Fantasy VII that I'm playing through on the PS4, and then I bought 9 too. And then I'll eventually play 15 again because it's time. All that DLC pack's coming out, and I'm going to play that episode Ignis. But yeah, as far like the last thing before we get into like the main topics of what we were going to talk about today, I went ahead and played Shadow of War. I beat South Park, and I told you about that last stream, I think. But Shadow of War has been like my little mini project because it's one of those games where I kind of have to like get myself into a mood to play it. Because if I just go into it with like half a heart, I'm not going to get anything done, and I'm not going to want to play hardly anything. But if anyone doesn't want spoilers for Shadow of War and you're listening at this point, I would just kind of check out and skip ahead for about 8 minutes is an overestimate, but yeah, just go ahead and skip about 8 minutes ahead. And if I'm still talking about it, then just quickly skip forward. Anyway, so the whole premise of the game is that it is non-canon as fuck for fans, but it's kind of like filling in a blank gap of history that we don't know in the lore of like the Lord of the Rings universe.
So it's filler.
Yeah, it's filler. It's unabashedly filler, and whether it's good filler or not, I don't really know because basically where I am in the second game, it starts off like, okay, you make a new ring to like combat Sauron, and then it gets stolen from you at the very beginning of the game, and then the whole first chapter is you like trying to get the ring back. The second chapter starts, and then it's you taking over Mordor with the ring, and like taking over all the forts and like doing all like the little side quests and whatnot. The third chapter starts, and it's you fighting a war against Sauron, and then the end game starts, and then the fourth chapter that I'm in right now is it's called the Shadow Wars, and so spoilers for like chapter 3 and like the end game of the game. So long story short, like the wraith that is attached to your main character ends up betraying you. Like everyone in their fucking right mind knew that was going to happen. He ends up betraying you, and he leaves you for a new vessel. And the main character takes the ring of a ring wraith that they banished or like absolved, I guess. He puts it on. He becomes a kind of pseudo ring wraith, and so that way he can live without the wraith that he used to have inside of him. And then he like gets powers over raising the dead and whatnot. And that's cool as shit, right? And you go off and fight the Witch King. You take over like Minas Morgul, all that good shit. for anybody who knows what I'm talking about. And then you have like this big final like boss fight with the Wraith that abandoned your main character against Sauron. And it's this big, cool fight on the top of the tower. Like you're fighting with like the elf that you possessed. She's like a second party member. You get to like have basically unlimited power ups and like boosts because you're fighting as the Wraith himself. And it's cool as shit, right? And you beat him, and then the game's like, okay, next chapter. And then they give like this brief and rushed epilogue of what happened, and it's like, oh, they merged together and they became the eye on top of the tower, and it's like, not canon as fuck, and it's cringeworthy, like how big of a stretch they had to make to like make it fit in with everything. But then the last chapter of the game, guys, is basically, you know how Phantom Pain was super grindy at the end of the game because you just had to replay missions. To like get to the end of the game.
It was basically just the same thing over and over and over again.
Well, that's what I'm doing now. Because it's called the Shadow Wars, and what you're doing, and the premise of the whole chapter is there's barely any story content. You're done with the main quests. It's just a series of invasions against the forts that you caught and you captured, and you're defending them from like invaders constantly. So you have to go back to all the forts you did. Upgrade them as much as you can, put some new followers in there. You have to upgrade the captains and make sure you got all the defenses in. And then it's just wave after wave after wave of like sieges and shit. And I've done about 4 out of 10 of those. And I think that the later waves, it's like 3 per like section, because they divide them into like sections, or whatever they're called. So like I've done 1 through 3 right now, and then the 4th one will probably be 1 siege, but then 5 and up I think are like multiple sieges, like 2 for 1 section, and then up to like all the way to 4. So that's stupid as shit. And that's really grindy, and that's padding like to its like highest degree. But the question I'm left with at the end of the day is, was the game good? I say yes. Mechanically, it had its faults, and I think the biggest fault of that was like some platforming and fine-tuning certain attacks. I think that the randomizer for certain enemies is a little bit unfair. And they can like put some people who are really bitches in your way at a low level, and it can make like the first like early parts of the game like unbearable. But I think the game improves on everything that its predecessor did. It made things more balanced. You're not as overpowered as you were. There's still exploits, but you can get around that, I guess, if you want to be if you don't want it to be boring. There are boss fights in this game, actually. They're hard as shit. And that was something that I was really frustrated with, that all the scripted moments in the game are hard as holy fuck. And it's really hard to survive with a lot of them, and it's just mainly you just... Every time like you would reach a checkpoint in a certain mission or a fight, like it'll bring you back from the last time like you hit a checkpoint, but you'd have to keep dying to progress. And that was my thing. My biggest gripe with the game is that they didn't balance the difficulty enough up to where it wasn't like stupid hard or stupid easy. It had weird areas where it was like really easy and you really could get the hang of it and just kind of breeze through it, but then it would all of a sudden like get this stupid ass difficulty spike, and then you'd be stuck at the same segment or mission for about like, I don't know, like an hour at a time, because it's that kind of game. And then the end of the game's super grindy. So do I think it's a great game? I don't know. I'd give it about a 7.5. Like now that I've mostly beaten it, because the only reward you get for beating the last chapter is like an epilogue scene, which, because if I go ahead and beat it, like just because I'm a fan, I'll do it. But like that's the only reward I'm getting out of it. Like I'm not getting any extra story content really, or any big payoff as far as equipment goes. It's just padding out the game for the sake of getting a true ending, and I think that's really dumb. But overall, good game. Story is more interesting than the last one, and you have some really cool moments at the end of the game as far as payoff goes and just fan service. but overall inconsequential, forgettable characters, some frustrating gameplay, but you can get really into it depending on what kind of player you are. But if you're just coming in for like a casual time, like this isn't the game for you. Like this is a giant time sink, and that's not always a good thing. And that's my review. I don't know how long that lasted.
Long enough.
Anyway, let's move on into the next segment. We're going to talk about our predictions for the Video Game Awards, or the Game Awards as they're now called, I think. Give our opinions on what's been here and what hasn't been, and then after the award show, I doubt that we'll be able to stream live during it, but if we can, we will. But afterwards, we'll just compare our notes and predictions to what actually happened, and we'll discuss. But for now, do either of you have a list available for stuff?
I got the website pulled up and everything I voted for.
I do too.
Okay, I actually wrote down everything so that I can make hand notes. So that works.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, it took me an hour at work because I was just bored as shit. Anyway, let's start out with Game of the Year, obviously. That's the biggest one and most people are here for. We've got 5 nominees. Shelly, do you want to name them off?
For Game of the Year?
Yeah.
All right. I got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PUBG,
Yeet.
for some reason,
Which I still don't get how.
Persona 5, and Horizon.
Hey.
Well,
Now, 4 of these games are actual games.
yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just take off Battlegrounds. Because I see the idea that they're going with, and the freedom of just being dropped off in a space and just having to go and live and survive and win. And I think how big are the matches? 100 people at a time, possibly?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, but that's not enough to be years of development and painstaking processes. So let's just go ahead and.
I mean, that's not even my reason for outing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just that it's on early access and it's not done.
Yeah, it's not out yet. It's not released.
See, I was giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Nah, man.
And considering it a legitimate game.
Real talk, nah, it's not out yet.
I think
that's my thing, man.
I think this is my personal opinion. I'll just go ahead and give it now. That this will be a toss-up between either Breath of the Wild and Persona 5, or Breath of the Wild and Horizon. I don't think Mario will get it, just because Mario is fun, but I think it's become a little bit. I won't say formulaic because they did deviate a lot in this game, but I'd say that it's become a little bit predictable and game design as far as that goes. Does that make sense? We know that it's going to be a nice game, but it's okay, let's look at other gameplay experiences besides the one that we've become kind of accustomed to with Mario. Even though they're improving on the formula a little bit and also rehashing some old stuff, I don't think that it's new and different enough and revolutionary enough to kind of be counted as a game of the year. Even though it is a good game, obviously. And I think as a pioneer in gaming, I would say that both Horizon and Breath of the Wild are pretty similar. Zelda, Breath of the Wild at least goes the exploration route and just the kind of you have the freedom to do what you want. And then I think Horizon has the cinematic aspect of that. And it has a unique gameplay aspect to it because it plays differently than any other open world game that I've ever played from when I have played it. And it's a little bit more interactive, I think, and cool because you're doing cool ass shit and effectively. And has nice enemy design and whatnot. Shelly could probably go into more detail because I really haven't played a lot of it, but I'd say that Breath of the Wild and Horizon are pretty similar, but they just go in different directions with it. And then on the flip side of that, I'd say that Breath of the Wild and P5 both kind of like perfected the formula that they were going for, and they really pushed it as far as it could go.
I'm voting for Horizon because that's the one I played.
Well, why do you think it deserves it, though?
I mean, well, it's not that. It's just that's the one I played.
Well, I know, but
I didn't
why
play
do
the other
why
one.
do you think it deserves it? Like, you could speak
Hurry up and
objectively
play
about games you
P5.
haven't played.
Huh.
He said, "Hurry up and play P5." I just want to hear from like your perspective though, because you could speak like you can have an opinion about games you haven't played. You just can't have a very informed opinion, but based on what you've seen and what you've heard.
We saw what happened with that.
Yeah, that's true. He does like to shit on Nintendo a lot.
That is not.
That is 100% true. Every podcast we've had, you shit on Nintendo.
Why? No, I mainly just shit on Mario.
You shit on Nintendo too.
Hey, I give Zelda its props. I don't give Mario its props because it's the same thing.
Yeah. And I won't say that
No
it's the
difference
same
is that-
thing, but I
no
say that
difference
it's
is that
too
you're throwing a
soon.
hat.
Yeah. It's fun gameplay, but it's not like fun.
You
It's
sit
not
there
like
long enough for bird
revolutionary
lands on your
design.
nose.
Let's see. But yeah, I think in my heart of hearts, I would love for Persona 5 to get it. But
I don't think
I-
Persona 5's gonna get it. It's too niche of a title.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's too anime.
Ah, anime, get that away.
Just like George said, like they didn't even touch like the anime fighters this year.
They didn't, man.
Not even like DBZ
left-
won't be out.
Left Guilty Gear in the dust. Ha,
Yeah, I
Guilty
think
Gear
Persona
dust.
5 has like that cult following, and that the fans will be vocal about it. But it's not going to do it. It definitely will go for best RPG though. Like I have no doubt about that. But yeah. So what were our final picks?
It's probably between those three.
Okay, so
I think
will.
I get the sneaking suspicion that it will actually be between PUBG and Zelda.
Same.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think I ended up voting for.
You're underestimating the PC.
I actually think I ended up voting for P5. Either P5 or Zelda. I actually don't remember now.
Let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and mark between Horizon and Breath of the Wild.
Which one did you vote for, Brian?
I haven't voted on any of them yet. I was gonna do it after this.
You've played
Jesus
three of them
Christ.
technically.
Uh,
You have the most variety out of all of us.
I know.
You do.
I haven't finished 2 of the 3, but still.
For once, your opinion is the most informed.
That's right.
Honestly, like from what I
Well,
played,
you could be the deciding factor in this whole thing.
I would say from a gameplay perspective and like me as a gamer, Zelda gives me the most fulfillment. Horizon, I haven't played a lot of Horizon, and honestly, like, it was one of those marginal games where I was like, that looks really fucking cool, and I'd love to play that by
How
watching
far did you
trailers.
get?
I think I got past the first chapter, or past where she leaves the village, and then I haven't played since.
Ah, Jesus Christ! You haven't played anything.
Exactly. Like, it was one of those things where I was like, I want to play, and this is cool. And then I played it, and I was like, I just can't stomach it right now. I'm just
You're
not.
gonna fight the storm bird.
I'm not even in the right headspace to do it. So
That's like, how much of Phantom Pain have you played? Oh, I'm out the hospital. You ain't played nothing there.
exactly. I feel like I wish I hadn't played anything.
Whoa.
Exactly. But yeah, I feel like it'll be between Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn, but I think that Breath of the Wild is going to take the cake. Just because It doesn't.
And eat it too?
Probably, honestly. It'll probably get multiple categories, but I think just
Wait, what
as
will
far
happen
as a
with
design
those?
standpoint, Breath of the Wild isn't really handholdy. It kind of gives you a goal, obviously. It gives you a huge fucking sandbox to play in. And then the cartography and then like the overall design of like each map is top notch and like really well done. I have to give them props for like how well they like landscape the whole thing. But it's just like, okay, you see these things, like go, and then it has the option of turning off like the shrine indicators or like there's like a shrine mime. I turned that shit off. Like it was annoying as shit. Awful. Like as soon as I got it, and then I just decided that I was gonna rough it and just find what I find, and that gives you a more of a sense of accomplishment when you actually just stumble upon things and then you go out of your way. Puzzles are fun to solve, if not frustrating in it. And you get an accomplishment for like being underleveled but getting through something. Like there's always a way to do it for the most part. And I would say like Breath of the Wild gives you the most varied experiences because you can literally go in any direction and just be like, all right, well, let's make this my game, and it's big enough to make it your game every time, like in a different way. So yeah. For next category, we're going to start with I'm going to say best game direction. And I'm guessing that they're saying this from an overall design standpoint.
Yeah.
And where they went with it. And the categories, or the nominees for this category are going to be Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard,
Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil.
Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn. And this one was a little bit difficult for me to get. I'll go ahead and I'll cross off Resident Evil 7 for my personal list. And I honestly would want it between Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and then Horizon Zero Dawn. I think. What do you want? Who do you think, George? We'll take the cake.
I actually don't remember having casted a vote for this one because I'm just like, it was pretty difficult for me. Like, I went ahead and crossed off Wolfenstein because like Wolfenstein is Wolfenstein. You know what I mean? The premise is the same. The current social climate isn't going to change, or
it just makes it relatable. It doesn't make it more meaningful than it is.
Yeah, if everything was chill now, it would be just another Wolfenstein game.
I've heard this is just from what I've heard too. I obviously haven't played it. I thought about buying it, but I've heard that like Wolfenstein 2's character development and its overall story is really good and well written, and that they've got some really fun and believable characters in there and like good performances. But I would say from a design and direction standpoint that it's like you just said, it's just another Wolfenstein game at its core.
I feel like it's always had that, but it's been slept on, and so people are just kind of like opening up to the idea now because of everything that's going on. Not that that's particularly a bad thing, but just
well, I mean, when social issues like make something seem more poignant than it actually is, that's not always a bad thing, like you said. But at the end of the day, it's still just what it's always been.
Yeah.
I think Breath of the Wild will take this category too. If not, Horizon Zero Dawn. Just because actually, I don't know. This is a tough one. Now that I think about it, Breath of the Wild, I think deserves it. But I think Horizon will take it. Because Horizon, now that I think about it, has no precedent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like from just the world that they built and like the whole like lore mythology and like how they had to start from scratch and like make these enemy robots look and move and feel and behave. and how they fit in with the whole scheme of things, and then just the overall like concept of using this like what's it called, Shelly? The thing that she uses, the scouter.
Oh, Jesus, God.
Well, let's just call it the scouter. The whole thing with that, like they had to like come up with that, and like they had to sit in like a boardroom and just be like, okay, how can we make this as fun and engaging and cool as possible, and then fit thematically with what we want from this game. And they made a product that looks beautiful, it feels beautiful, it plays wonderfully, and it's. I obviously haven't finished it, and I can't give my full opinions on it, but I hear people who just rave about this game, and I think that they hit the mark. Like, absolutely. They just released DLC for it, and that's a bestseller, I think. But I think that Horizon will take that category, but it'll probably be a tie-up between Breath of the Wild and Horizon. I wish they would give percentages on who all voted and how that it went during the show, but they wouldn't do that because I think that would be insulting for the ones who didn't win.
If they don't win, they
what do you think, George?
Be insulted.
What do you guys think on that one?
I still can't make a clear-cut decision on that one, just because like I ain't gonna cry foul on nothing. I haven't had a that'd be hypocritical of me to say. I feel like all the things you say about Horizon being able to get it are like completely valid. So I wouldn't want to put 100% of my stock into like Breath of the Wild or Odyssey, which would be one of my picks. No bias, by the way.
Mm-hmm. And like I thought about Mario, but like what I said before, it's new and it's different, but it's not that different. It's still Mario. Like Shelly says, and I know that like we give Shelly a lot of shit for shitting on Nintendo, but he is right about that aspect.
I mean, that definitely pulls it out the running for Game of the Year, but I wouldn't use the familiarity of the series to discredit its design work. You know what I mean?
Nostalgia. It's a hell of a drug.
Now, what's your pick, Shelly? What do you think's going to win that one?
Probably Breath of the Wild. I wouldn't be surprised if Resident Evil did win.
See, I don't think Resident Evil's whole presentation was strong enough.
No, it's just because like they changed up their gameplay.
That's true.
From other Resident Evil, so.
And that is something to consider too, is that like they completely changed up their formula, or I'd say returned it really to roots. Because it became an action series after a while and pretty stupid, but still fun. But I think the important thing to do, like to think about in that aspect, is not to think about like how well it worked for itself, but how well it works like up against other people and what they accomplished. Because like, and this is my opinion, like I just said, I think that Horizon like did the most new things. Out of all of these, like I think all of these other franchises had like stuff to build off of, but like Horizon had to start from like the ground up, and I kind of respect that personally more than improving on something that's already been established. Now, for best narrative, can you read off the nominees, George?
Sure. Give me about 5 years for this to load. Okay. So, What Remains of Edith Finch, Nier Automata, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon.
Okay, automatically cross off Horizon.
Okay. All right.
Done. Either of you play What Remains of Edith Finch?
Nope, I don't no idea about it. I've heard that it's poignant, but that's about it, and that's not good enough.
Neither have I. What about Hellblade?
I think
Hellblade,
so.
I heard, has good depictions of mental illness, but I don't know anything about the story.
All right, cool. Let's talk about Nier.
So it's between Nier and Wolfenstein 2 for us. I played Nier in its full glory.
In its full glory.
I would say
A, B,
that
C, D, Andy.
yeah, all of
Okay.
them. This is tough for me.
Ain't it though?
I think Wolfenstein will take it. Because at the end of the day, Nier is a JRPG, and while it's
Good.
it has a powerful message at its core and like thematic elements that are really strong and get you thinking, and it's emotionally riveting. I think that a story like Wolfenstein 2 is going to Resident Evil. It's going to resonate with Western audiences a little bit more, obviously because of the subject matter and the tone.
Yeah.
And I think that that'll give it the edge in this category. If Nier wasn't in the same category with Wolfenstein 2, I would give it to Nier automatically. Because I think it does have a fantastic story, and I think it has great characters. But as far as like full and complete arcs for all of those characters and like scenarios, like I wouldn't say that it had that. And a lot of that has to do with like how it divided itself up into like the multiple playthrough system, and then like getting multiple endings to see different things and aspects of characters that may or may not be canon. I think that is what Nier has working against it. I think if it was a more solid presentation, then it may have the potential for a stronger narrative like structure. But the narrative that it has as a whole is very good. And what do you think about that?
I agree. Definitely.
What about you, Shelley? Do you have anything to contribute on this category?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I mean, the only one I played was Horizon. Horizon story was good, but it's not gonna win best narrative.
Yeah. Like that's kind of how I feel about people saying that Uncharted games have like amazing stories. They don't.
Oh, no, you never played Uncharted 2.
I did.
No, you never played Uncharted 2.
I played all of them, Shelley. Except Golden Abyss.
You didn't play Lost Legacy.
Ooh.
I don't need to.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. Let's see. Best art
Lost
direction.
Legacy's seriously, Lost Legacy's like right up there with Uncharted 4, just with none of the pacing issues.
Really, it's right up there with the game that it came right out afterwards.
Yeah, it's right up there.
The one that it follows up to canonically.
I don't get what you're trying to say.
I'm saying that it came next in the sequence of release. Of course, it's going to be right up there with the last game that was released.
That's not necessarily true.
It's made with the same assets.
No.
Yes, of course it's made with the same assets.
Nah.
But anyway,
Neil Druckmann didn't work on that one.
Next category is best art direction. Shelley, go ahead and read those categories.
Best art: Destiny 2, Cuphead, Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Cuphead wins.
This one fucks with me.
Cuphead wins. There's no fucking. It's Cuphead. Cuphead.
I don't think Cuphead's gonna get it.
Cuphead's going to get that.
You don't what? You don't what?
I don't think he's gonna get it.
Lie to me. Lie to me again, like the people in my life have before.
I think that Persona 5 won't get it. For sure. Destiny 2 won't get it. I'd say that this I don't think Breath of the Wild will get it on this one. I think it would be between Horizon and Cuphead.
It's Cuphead.
I think it would be Horizon, honestly,
Cuphead.
because once again, I don't know. Like they're both like they both deserve it for the same reason of like they came from nothing and started something new and innovative.
Hand
Dude,
drawn,
dude, it's hand-drawn art.
frame by frame.
Horizon.
Okay, guys, I'll admit, Cuphead
hand-drawn
probably will
art.
win this, but I want it to be Horizon. Let's see, best score in music. This one also fucks with me.
I've got no opinion on that one.
Well, go ahead and just listen to the OSTs for all these.
Oh, hold on. Back it up. What now?
You call truck.
We're doing best score in music, and I'm going to read off the stuff.
I'm gonna catch up. All
right, so we have Destiny 2, Cuphead, Nier Automata, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, and then Persona 5. Okay, so in my opinion, go ahead and cross off Breath of the Wild and Destiny 2. And Cuphead.
You think Mario's gonna win?
No. I think Persona 5 is going to win. I think Persona 5 is going to win. Like, personally, I would put it between Nier. Huh?
You didn't like Breath of the Wild's music?
It's minimalistic. It's not sweeping.
Is it?
I mean,
is it minimalistic?
It works. Huh?
A majority of the score is just kind of like random bits done on piano.
Yeah, it's random piano chords that have really long ass rests.
That's real nice.
Yeah. Like there's no until you get to certain areas, there's no real overworld music like in prior games. Like you'll get a little bit here and there. If you get if you're around Kaz, who's like this bird guy who plays accordion, he'll play like his own song or classic tunes from older games. And if you're in like Kakariko Village or Hateno Village, you get like a rendition of like
their old themes.
Not even that.
That's a Lon Lon Ranch.
Yeah.
I do know like about like the late game stuff, like when you get to Hyrule Castle, like how they like do the like that one's kind of cool. But and then like you've got like the final boss fight and like everything else and Ganon's actual theme.
Now, admittedly, the music against the Stone Talus is really good.
I don't know, I haven't gotten there yet.
It's a random world boss.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right. I take that back. I did run into one of those. It was funky, but it wasn't like I don't know. It was catchy though. Yeah. But I would say that Cuphead's just stock music. I'd say that Destiny 2 is just stock music. For the most part. And I'd say that that Breath of the Wild is too minimalistic, and let's see. It really does come down to Nier and Persona 5, in my opinion, because I think Mario is kind of there, but not all the way. And I think a big majority of people saying that Mario has the best soundtrack, or is in running for this, is because of that insert song that they have. The One Up Girl one.
Yeah, no, Jump Up Superstar is hype.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, One Up Girl's like subtitle or whatever.
Okay. Let's see. But yeah, I think that Nier has like a little bit less of an edge than Persona 5 does, just because Persona 5 like score and like overall composition is just so strong and memorable and enjoyable. Nier is more quiet.
Which is crazy because it's lacking significantly compared to prior games in the series.
I agree with that too. And I have my own thoughts on that, but I do think that, and I thought about this because I was listening like on my iPod like to both of the albums. I was like, okay, what can I take away from the Nier soundtrack, and then what can I take away from the P5 soundtrack?
The Machine Village. That song's my jam.
Fucking hate that shit. I don't even have that on my iPod. I hate that. That was the most annoying.
Are you serious?
That's the most annoying song on there.
Bro, log off right now.
It's okay. My favorite song from that entire OST is Dependent Weakling anyway.
Sure.
And then
I voted.
Go ahead.
I voted P5 because I wanted Shoji Meguro to get something from the West in his lifetime, because I have the biggest feeling like P6 will not make the list whenever it comes out. I feel like it won't. Despite the popularity that 5 has given the series, and that it's still pretty niche, but it's like kind of a bit out more in the open now. Like I don't think 6 is going to be able to continue riding the wave. Not to say 6 will be bad, but like 6 will go back to being like by the weebs for the weebs. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think more people will have their eyes on it because it's kind of like this domino effect that we've had since P4, where P4 was like, oh man, people loved it who found it, and then they were really vocal about it. And then when P5 came around, everybody that loved P4 screamed from the rooftops. It was like, guys, you have to play this game. Don't sleep on it. It's really good. And then people played P5, and they either loved it or they hated it, depending on their taste in games. And that's going to obviously get more fans for the series. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that Persona 5 deserves it because they deserve something. Because I think they're gonna get passed over for the other stuff.
I think
and I think that Nier at the end of the day doesn't have as many memorable tracks on its OST.
I know a Shoji Meguro soundtrack won't make it again unless, like, by the grace of God, we get Catherine 2. In which case, maybe.
But yeah. Next role-playing game. Read that off for me, George.
All right, give me a second. I'm playing Odyssey right now, even though I should be. Yeah.
I'm watching it.
I have a lot of stuff due tomorrow, and I should be doing it. I might have accidentally glossed over it. Go ahead and read it, because this is going to take forever to find.
We've got Fracture Butthole. We've got Final Fantasy 15. We've got Divinity Original Sin 2. And we've got Nier Automata. And we've got Persona 5. So go ahead and just scratch out 15 with a rusty knife.
Actually, no, won't do it.
Do it.
Won't do it.
Do it.
I'm taking the votes of everybody else who is not in this cast into consideration. I am taking the votes of an entire Western audience into consideration. They're dumb enough to do it. I won't cross it out.
God damn it. I think P5 is going to get it. Hands down.
Whoa.
It was always going to be between Nier and P5. And
I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 15 is going to win this.
I don't think so. I don't think this game...
They'll do it.
I don't think that 15 was that popular. I think that P5 blew it out of the water critically.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But,
I mean, South Park blew it out of the water.
That's not what this is about.
South Park is what I voted for, by the way.
You know exactly what this is about.
I don't think South Park deserves to even be in here.
Sure it does.
No, it doesn't. It's fun, but it's not... It doesn't have depth, and it's just kind of like, okay...
Yeah, it doesn't have to have depth. It just has to be the best role-playing game. Best role-playing game. It put me in the role of South Park, and I had fun doing it.
It's not. No. because at the end of the day, like you got more fulfilling and more fun experiences than what South Park gave you. It was fun while it lasted in its own little sandbox way, but it was very constricted, obviously, because it's for a show. But I think, yeah, P5 is going to win. I think Nier will be a close second, and then maybe 15.
Don't count out South Park.
I'm counting out South Park.
15 is South Park.
I'm just saying, South Park isn't as niche as Persona 5.
I would say that it's more niche than Persona 5.
Do not count out South Park.
As a game, I do believe that. Like,
I'll be goddamned if
this were
South Park,
if a Ubisoft game gets an RPG of the year. Like, I'm serious. If you give an Ubisoft game a fucking RPG of the year, I would be.
Come on, do it. Just do it one time for me.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't want to see the rage that would happen.
So did you skip all these other categories or what?
Huh? The rage that would happen from who? Just you? Just you?
No, not just me. From everyone.
What would you do if Square Enix won?
I would argue. Obviously, it doesn't deserve it.
Obviously.
Now, in my heart of hearts, if fucking Kingdom Hearts 3 came out and it was fucking perfect, then hell yeah, give it to it.
In my heart of the cards, if South Park won, I would draw the card I needed each time.
Oh, we on that?
Yeah, we're going to move on to the next category. Best audio design. Go ahead and read, Shelly.
Okay, so you're skipping over the
Yeah, see, that's why I was lost. We were on the best...
The first few that I had were from an article, and then I actually went to the website and went down it.
Oh, okay, because I was like, I had you search for...
Because after a while, like, we're going to get back on track with the website's order.
We're back on track now.
Okay.
That was the next one.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
Okay, best audio design. Destiny 2, Hellblade, Resident Evil 7, Breath of the Wild, and Super Mario Odyssey. I have no clue how Mario is in this for best audio.
I don't know. It's actually at this point that I would
like you're just putting it in to put it in now.
Yeah.
Well, does it sound pleasing to your ears when you play it at this point? Like does it have a satisfying like sound design?
Okay, it's at this point that I would leave it between Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Resident Evil and Breath of the Wild. Unless Hellblade is that like...
Hey, Destiny 2 could probably win this one.
That clutch seek. I honestly hadn't played enough of it, man.
You play Destiny 2?
You have it?
I have it, yeah.
Holy shit.
Damn.
I ain't gonna turn down free stuff. Like,
I think I agree with George on this one and say that it would probably be between Resident Evil 7 and Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, because it just... The sound is immersive, and they think of a lot of things, and it sounds pretty satisfying when you like interact with your world. I think Breath of the Wild will probably take it, but Resident Evil 7 kind of goes the opposite. Same direction as far as like immersive, but it's like eerily placed and like we said before, like there's power in silence and like minimalism. So if you just if you don't overdo it, then it makes it creepy.
I mean, RE7 VR, man. Like if you gonna have somebody hear all of that mess with the helmet, then you got to come packing. You know what I mean?
That's true. What do you think, Shelly? Off the top of your head.
I'm pick Destiny 2.
Okay. Oh, let me go back and mark that. I'm gonna write it down. Shelly picked Destiny
2.
Ooh, Kesa.
And when it fucking wins, what are we gonna do?
Buy me a cookie.
Girl, don't stand on my back. I got thumbtacks in there.
Okay, Shelly.
And then you're going to climb on. Get down.
Kate Sith is George's cat.
I think they know by now.
We're going to best performance now.
Yeah, let's see. I was just marking down because I didn't get anything else. Okay. Yeah, best performance. Right. So, George, can you read that all for us?
Maybe if I can keep up with where you at. Is it the next one? Hey, yeah, look at that. All right.
Where was on the website?
Melina Juergens as Senua from Hellblade. Laura Bailey as Nadine Ross from Uncharted Lost Legacy. Claudia Black as Chloe Fraser from Uncharted Lost Legacy. Brian Bloom as BJ Blazkowicz from Wolfenstein, and Ashley Birch as Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn.
That one's Claudia Black.
I don't know. Honestly, I would. If I ain't played everything, I'm just like, yeah, based on what I know, I would either pick Brian Bloom because Wolfenstein 2, because I know that they had a good narrative and cast. And I think that one of the highlights was his character as well, because he's kind of like that fantasy role fulfillment thing. But I would also agree with Shelly and say that Chloe probably has really good lines. I'm kind of loath to even suggest Laura Bailey because she's been in so much shit.
Well, because I mean, Claudia Black did a better job as Chloe. It was just her performance was better.
What about you, George? You have any input?
And Troy Baker was in Lost Legacy.
Spoilers.
I said Troy Baker.
I know who Troy Baker is in the Uncharted series.
Who is he?
He's fucking... What's his name?
Don't say Joel.
I'm not saying Joel. Is his name David?
Sam?
Sam, okay.
Yeah, I didn't expect Sam to come in.
I did. But yeah. I would say just... I'll go with Chloe Fraser, Claudia Black. My second pick will be Brian Bloom because bias. Are you going to defer to? Were you going to defer to Shelly's judgment, George?
I'll abstain.
Okay. And I'll put Shelly and me.
If there was something I didn't, because honestly, me and a friend of mine just sat in class and voted last week, and whatever we didn't have any real input on, we just didn't vote.
All right. What about games for impact?
That's what I did here.
I
played none of these.
Same. Although I hear Night in the Woods is really good.
I heard it's good, but I don't see how it would be impactful.
You want to skip this one?
I'm just going to go ahead and say Hellblade, Senua's sacrifice because of the mental illness thing. And then we'll move on. Anybody else want to put down a vote? No. Wild shot in the dark.
I mean, it'll probably be Hellblade, but...
Yeah. Was Hellblade AAA? Or was that indie game?
Indie.
Damn. All right, best ongoing game, Overwatch.
Whoa. What about GTA Online?
Don't fuck with me.
Dude,
it's not. It's
the best-selling game of all time. GTA 5 is the best-selling game of all time.
All right, we'll put it in the running.
There you go.
Warframe shouldn't be on this list.
It's on the list because it keeps
To my surprise, people play it. Like, I was just as skeptic as you were, but like,
I was like, who still plays it?
I played Warframe for a little while.
It's still getting.
Yeah,
up
you
to
played
the
it for like
game.
2 weeks.
Drew
Back when
hopped
there was
back.
nothing to play.
Drew hopped back on it a while ago.
If I actually knew what I was doing and actually bought some shit, I don't know, maybe
It'd be a little bit better.
I think it'll be between either Overwatch or GTA 5 then, or Auto Online.
What about PUBG?
No,
That was definitely ongoing.
Is that on here?
Yeah,
that's not finished.
Jesus Christ!
exactly. It's ongoing. This
Can't stop, won't stop.
Fuck. Now we have another one. I'm just gonna go say Overwatch, and that'll be my pick. What do you say, George?
That's what I voted for.
Okay.
I didn't vote, but it'll probably be Overwatch.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if Grand Theft Auto Online won.
I'll put 3 for Overwatch, and then a dotted 1 for GTA.
Why is there a category for best mobile game? Why is that?
Because they're becoming a part of the market.
And
That was
Pokemon.
That was a category a while back, huh?
Why isn't Pokemon Go on it?
You know why?
Shit. Super Mario Run or Fire Emblem Heroes Shadows of Valentia.
Well, what about Monument Valley 2?
Wait a second. Shadows of Valentia was they fucked that up.
No, they didn't. You're looking at best handheld instead of best mobile. Because Heroes is right here under best mobile.
Okay.
I'm wondering, has Fate Granddaughter come out in the US yet?
Yeah.
Okay, it was probably just too anime then. Because I was wondering why Fate Granddaughter.
Well, it's a gacha game. I wouldn't expect a gacha game to be a good mobile game.
Fire Emblem Heroes is a gacha game.
Yeah, but it has strategy elements with them.
Fire Emblem Heroes is a gacha
Now, guys, don't count out Hidden Folks.
That's what.
I think it'll be Super Mario Run just because Nintendo had the balls to be like, all right, boy. I think that
now.
I'm sorry, they had the balls to say, hey, play 3 levels of this and then pay $12 for the whole package.
Fire Emblem Heroes.
You're not sorry. It's Fire Emblem, bro.
Fine.
I don't even know why you tripping.
Fine. I'll vote for Super Mario Run, and you two can have your Fire Emblem Heroes.
Hey, don't.
I already voted.
Man's Journey.
I already voted. I already voted for the firm hose because I know what's going on here.
Best
I'm
handheld.
no fool.
Notice something, guys. They're all Nintendo because that's the only handheld.
Nah, man. See.
I say Fire Emblem.
Drop something on the Vita.
Dude,
I say Fire Emblem for this one.
Anymore.
I don't know, man. I
feel like it'll be between Yoshi, Metroid, and then Fire Emblem.
I feel like it'll be between Yoshi, Fire Emblem, and Ever Oasis.
Don't you people love Metroid?
It wasn't. It was fun to play a Metroid game again, but it's not even the best Metroid I've ever played.
That's not what this asked you. This asked what was the best handheld game this year.
And it was not Metroid because it wasn't even good, like, in comparison to other handhelds for Metroid.
It was fun.
That's not what it asked you.
I don't know, man. Like, I like the Metroid game. I don't think it's better than any of these other handhelds. Honestly, all it did was make me hype for a fucking Fusion remake.
That's like watching someone paint the Sistine Chapel, then watching someone paint the Mona Lisa, and then go, the Mona Lisa didn't win this year. I mean, it's not the Sistine Chapel. He did that last year.
That's exactly what it is.
Apples and oranges.
Anyway, I think it'll be Fire Emblem.
They happened a year apart. They're part of two different things.
Brian don't know about Pangea.
I'm putting down Fire Emblem. That's the end of it. What do you guys think it is?
I voted for Fire Emblem.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot in the dark. I don't know what any of these things are. I'm gonna go Ever Oasis because it looks anime.
All right. Best VR game.
All right, let's skip it.
Yeah, just Resident Evil 7.
Best action game.
Can we appreciate how Cuphead is here?
Cuphead in action.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what the fuck? It's a boss rush more than anything. Jesus.
It's a, excuse you, it's a platformer.
It's a platformer.
It's a platformer.
It's a run and gun platformer.
It's a platformer and a boss rush.
I'm just going with Neo.
I'll put Destiny 2.
Oh, y'all waiting on me? Neo.
Yeah.
Best action adventure game. Uncharted Lost Legacy. Easy.
Not Horizon, excuse me. Breath of the Wild.
Booty Creed, man, free.
Are you being serious?
No.
Okay. You fucking with me? You're...
Wouldn't be the first time. I believe Horizon will get it, but
Horizon won't get that. I'm telling you, it's Uncharted.
It'll be between Uncharted and Breath of the Wild.
Dude, action adventure. Think about the category of what it is. It's an
no, because we had this conversation. This is that thing I tried to pose earlier. People ain't gonna see the lines because it's an amalgamation. It's a clump.
Dude,
same game.
Best action adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Uncharted.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm telling you what the vote's gonna look like. This was like Brian denying 15 for best RPG. It's like, no, you right. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just telling you what the people gonna do.
Ugh.
And if Assassin's Creed somehow wins, I'll rage.
I mean, I don't know, man.
It's ironic because
Assassin's Creed Origin side quests.
Huh?
As I heard that people don't like Origin side quests.
Like, are they just repetitive, or they're just stupid?
I heard they're like really repetitive.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that makes sense.
They're like people are like, oh yeah, like
every other fucking open world RPG.
Starts feeling like
Assassin's Creed 3.
I was like, yeah, that's why I didn't buy it.
Yeah, every open world RPG has like repetitive side quests to an extent, like except for like a select few. And The Witcher 3 and the Breath of the Wild are like the ones I've seen in recent memory that are kind of like have unique side quests.
Horizon side quests have been pretty alright, actually. I don't mind doing them.
I just know that fucking 15 had repetitive ass shit. And
man, it was levels. Stuff. It was levels to it.
Don't give me that shit.
I'm telling you what to say, dog. That's all I'm doing.
Best
fighting game. All right, George. It's your moment to shine.
George, it's ARMS.
Bruh, Tekken 7 free. Like everybody else don't even need to be here.
What the fuck is Nidhogg?
And then they left out. And then they left out Guilty Gear Rev 2. Like, nah, dog.
What's this anime bullshit?
ARMS shouldn't be here because it's god awful.
Brian, I want you to buy ARMS.
I don't want to buy ARMS.
Brian,
it's not even
ARMS. I remember you.
It's not even bad, bro. There's just nothing else to it.
Exactly. Like that's. Like, I looked at. I'm glad that I was able to like look at it critically before I actually bought it.
Brian,
saying it's awful. You weren't there with the rest of us.
I remember.
You were in the line paying $60. You didn't run bracket with us. I was in the fire. I felt it for myself. I can say that it's awful.
Brian, you were hyping up ARMS. And the first time I saw ARMS, I said, it's only ARMS. There's no depth to it.
I was hyping up ARMS because I was excited about what it would mean for like esports if people gave it a good following. There's not a good following. There's not enough game. It's shallow
Bro,
as
you
shit.
sound like Capcom right now. Stop it.
I know.
I voted for Injustice 2.
Of course you did. I'll just refer to George's judgment and say Tekken 7 because it has
Tekken. Now
a
look,
bear.
Tekken 7 deserve it.
It has
Ain't no
a bear.
guarantee. But the argument for Tekken 7 will be that people have been playing it for years before it came out. Because people have been playing it for years before it came out. But we ain't gonna talk about that.
Best family game.
Let's notice that 4 out of these 5 are Nintendo titles. That should tell you something.
Well,
That they know how to make family games?
I'm voting
they're a family-oriented company.
I'm voting for the one that's not Nintendo.
Sonic Mania.
Yes.
I would put Sonic Mania in the category of its own. I almost think Family Game is kind of dismissive to what the idea like
Of these games
with
actually
Pagoda
are.
Winston headcanon. Yeah. Well, not even to these games in general, because I'm like Mario Kart, okay. Mario and Rabbids, yeah. Even Splatoon to an extent. Sonic Mania had a completely different goal in mind, and they accomplished that goal, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think being like Family Game is kind of
I
like,
wanna
what?
I want to give this one to either Rabbids or Odyssey. Rabbids because of the love and heart that went into producing that. And I know it's not going to sell the way that they want it to, but God bless them.
Dude, it might. It has Mario in it.
Luigi dabs in this game. I don't want it.
7.5. Too much dabbing.
I'll go ahead and I'll just give it to Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, I'd give it to Mario Kart 8 over Odyssey. It's
Fuck
better
that
family
shit.
game.
It's already been released.
Yeah, it has. That never stopped them.
It won Best Sports Game like 2 years ago.
That makes no sense to me. How you can nominate a game that was already released and put it back in.
Didn't have enough family games, I guess. Not enough Switch titles to make it in.
Best strategy game: XCOM 2, Tooth and Nail, Total War Hammer 2.
Warhammer or Warhammer.
Well, Total War Warhammer 2. God,
That's a fucking mouthful. Halo Wars 2. What the fuck is that?
You know,
You
Halo
never played RTS?
Yeah,
I played an RTS before.
it was one of their few. It was like one of their 3 exclusives that they released this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and give this to Mario and Rabbids because I want them to have a vote for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm just not voting for this one.
All right, George, what do you think?
Hold on, let me see what we got. I'll give it to XCOM because between XCOM and Mario and Rabbids because they're both the same thing, different characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Best sports
Yeah.
and racing game. I don't know why they put these 2 in the same category. I guess it's just because there's not enough of each thing.
Exactly. There's only one per year.
So we got Project Cars 2, Pro Evolution Soccer 218.
I'm gonna say FIFA 18.
Nah, PES is always better than FIFA.
Really?
Yeah.
The Fox engine.
It's been very consistent the past few years that PES
All right.
is better than FIFA.
And
I'll
the
refer
Fox
to your judgment.
engine, Brian.
The Fox engine. My God.
I do want to try out
left us a
GT
boom.
Sport one day.
What?
I said I want to try out GT Sport one day.
I haven't played a Gran Turismo game in a long time.
I'm gonna go to the Grand Tour.
I think I
Stop.
owned one Gran Turismo game.
I owned the first one, and that was it.
Best
Hey, I played 2.
multiplayer.
It's gonna be
Fortnite,
pub.
COD, Splatoon 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that was released 2 years ago, Destiny 2, and PUBG.
It's either gonna be pub or Destiny 2, and I would hand it to pub.
I
It's
don't
either
know.
going to be PUBG or Fortnite.
That game that was released 2 years ago.
It's either going to be PUBG or Fortnite because people are raving about PUBG, but people who don't have the money for PUBG are playing Fortnite.
Oh my god, people are shitting on COD this year so bad.
I don't understand why though.
They say it doesn't feel the same. It's the worst on boots, like on ground.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game presented by McCafe.
Uh,
Turn up, Shelly. I appreciate it.
Easy.
Is it Spider-Man or God of War or Red Dead?
Dang, Brian, I like how you just left out Last of Us.
Fuck that shit. That's not coming out.
Right
Yeah,
after
Brian.
Shelly
Yeah,
said
it's
it.
not coming out. No one said next year. They said most anticipated. Last of
Hey,
Us.
I don't anticipate shadows of a game. I anticipate good things that are clear in my face. You know
Then
how
why you
long I haven't anticipated Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, because it's not on here.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
It's even less of a shadow.
Brian's pettiness aside, my personal vote is on Spider-Man, but I know the people want either Red Dead Redemption 2 or Last of Us 2. It's one of those.
I'm voting for Red Dead. And then we got one for Spider-Man. What about you, Shelly?
It's Last of Us 2, bro.
All right. We're all split down the middle. Okay.
Best independent game.
Cuphead.
Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead probably win.
It actually is an indie. I wanted to mark that because I think you said that it was not an indie because it was published by Microsoft.
It's independently developed but not published.
One sec.
Does the publisher make a difference?
What?
Like I'm asking this a serious question. Does the publisher make a difference? Because Cuphead is independently developed despite being published by Microsoft.
I agree. And then
I didn't make a statement. I was asking a question.
I would say
Well,
that
I'm pretty positive what makes an indie game is that they don't have a publisher.
Well,
somebody has to distribute the game.
Somebody has to publish it.
They have to distribute it. Like it's like a Shovel Knight. That's cross-platform, and they have a publisher because they made their own publishing office.
Yeah.
Yeah, independent.
But that doesn't matter.
So both have to be indie. Well, no, it wouldn't.
Shovel Knight was indie. Just like
it was an independent studio that got picked up by a big publisher.
The Witcher 3, CD Projekt Red. The Witcher 3 is an indie game. They publish it on their own.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So if they develop and publish.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know. Hold on.
I'm gonna Google it. What makes it indie?
I don't know what Cuphead did.
I wrote it as Cuphead with
video game is a video game that is often created without the financial support of a publisher, although some games with publisher funding are still considered indie.
Yeah, I think Microsoft
Cuphead has enough of a legacy too, and like a reputation for like being its own unique thing that like it won't ever not be known as an indie. Because you can't really see Microsoft's hands in it. It's just that studio, and then they have that money because they're like, this is going to sell like wild cake. I mean, fire. Wild cake.
Yeah, I think that's all. I think Microsoft just funded it.
Yeah.
I wrote down Cuphead as Cuphead with no A.
Wow. Well, yeah. All right.
And I think
Cuphead.
we can just cut off after that because every other
Whoa. I want to talk about what the best student game was.
Okay. Well, this is the last one I wrote down on my sheet. I don't know why. I stopped because I figured it was going to be stupid.
Trending gamer.
Meaning we have a level square.
Just pick Andrea Renee.
I just want to talk about these names for these student games. We have meaning, level squared, impulsion, falling sky, hollowed, from Light. These fucking JRPG ass names.
He sounded awful.
I voted Overwatch for best esports game.
I voted Andrea Renee for trending gamer.
I never got past this category for student game. I just stopped caring.
And I voted Cloud9 for best esports team because my boy Mango.
Oh, I voted Rocket League for best esports game.
Best debut indie game presented by Chick Hydro. We got Slime Rancher, Mr. Shifty, Hollow Knight, Golf Story, and Cuphead.
Mr. Shifty.
I'm gonna vote for Mr. Shifty just because.
Yeah, it made me think of Swifty and Rick and Morty.
It's Swifty.
It's on the Switch. You should get it.
What?
Mr. Shifty, yeah.
Best Chinese game. Why is that a category?
I saw that.
Because the Chinese have their hands in everything.
Most popular game.
We have our own section.
Is that racist? I don't think that's racist. I think that's economic.
Best Spanish game. And it's all Dora the Explorer.
Nah, man.
That might have been racist. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be laughing, but that was kind of funny.
You're not supposed to be laughing.
Yeah. Don't you know that laughing is a sin after Thanksgiving?
Oh my god.
What? Are you high?
I was trying to come up with a stupid ass response. And I was like, what? How can I like make this like not stupid as shit? And then I just gave up. No, I'm not high. I am hungry though.
I think you're high.
I'm high on life, George. Also, fucking metabolism.
Have you guys seen that mod of Breath of the Wild with Saitama in it? And
yeah.
Yeah.
He just one shots it. And I look at him and I look at whoever did that, and I'm playing on my own now. And I'm like, how the fuck?
If they just had the mod like that, I'd play it.
Honestly, like I think I've got like 8 spirit gems on me right now. Because I just find a shrines like whenever I see them, I just go straight to them because I know I won't come back for them. And I still have 3 hearts, and I've barely upgraded my armor. And I have like 1 extra thing of stamina, and that's it. And I've been having a great time. But I was telling my friend Ryan that, you know, I enjoy a challenge. And I appreciate that, like, you could speed run this game, or you can do like a low-level challenge and still do it. Mm-hmm. But it's hard as shit. Like, going up some of those towers and getting shot at by fucking guardians is like the biggest bitch.
Do you know how to parry lasers?
You have to time it perfectly with your shield, don't you?
But can you parry lasers?
I haven't tried because I have wooden shields, and I knew mine would break instantly.
Nope, you can parry with wooden shields.
Oh, okay.
I'll try.
I learned to parry lasers with a pot lid.
Damn. I think my favorite weapon in the game is spears, though. Honestly,
I like one-handed swords.
Those are fast, and I appreciate them. But like, I don't know, spears just fit how I like to play. If I had like a scythe,
I love the Frozen Wilds.
That would be fun. Because I don't really use my bows too much in Breath of the Wild, honestly. Unless I'm like bootlegging or jerry-rigging some puzzles with fire arrows or bombs.
Let me look at last year's winners.
Hey, Brian. What if I told you that in the Frozen Wilds you get 3 new weapons, and they're like, one's a flamethrower, one's an ice thrower, and one's like an electric thrower.
What? What is this for?
Horizon.
Oh my god.
Dude, like, I have so many weapons.
I'm mad because you get those in Breath of the Wild.
Like, you just it's like kind of like a sphere. And
the similarities
I use the ice one the most, and it's just chugging out ice.
This is disgusting. Why?
Hey, how come we don't get to pick best Chinese game? It says jury pick. I want to pick it.
The Chinese jury picks it.
I want a best North Korean game. And it's got to be all games about Kim Jong-un.
And like how he like fucking plays rad ass basketball. Because he's got like a thing for the
how
fucking.
Good he is at games.
Oh, let's see. I'm gonna read a tweet to end this podcast on. No, I'm not. Never mind. Too divisive. But we'll just leave that here. Those are our predictions for everything that's going on. And I will definitely be giving you more impressions and like reviews of stuff that I finish and beat as I play through them. And we'll hopefully be able to bring you guys a little bit more varied content. I do want to. I've talked about this another time, but I want to bring back the versus matches. I want to bring back a few best like waifus and whatnot and top fives again. It may not just be for animes. Huh?
We have people in the chat.
Good. I haven't realized.
Oh,
I have not been
looking
at the video.
Yeah,
just
don't look at
people I know.
No one.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh God, it's Breck.
Who's Breck?
Friend of mine.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go. I guess everybody have a good night, and we will see you later. Peace out. Ta-ta.
Don't talk about Pocahontas.
Have a good one. Don't make racist jokes. Especially not after Thanksgiving.
Remember, kids, play Skullgirls.